Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be, did the narcissist have it planned all along? Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So did the narcissist have it planned all along? Well, I'll tell you right now, they had some of it planned from the beginning of that relationship. Probably when they first met you, they were looking at you as a fuel source. They were looking at you as security, as safety, as somebody who they could glom onto. They could manipulate, they could mold, they could trick and trap and have you believe in them and their hopes, dreams, aspirations. Remember, the narcissist is a shapeshifter. They wear a different mask for different people depending on which audience they are performing for. And when you met the narcissist, that was a mask for one. And that one mask was meant for you. So did they have it planned all along? I'll tell you right now, when they first met you, they saw what you were. They probably figured out your assets, your resources, if you were an empath, which they love empaths, and they were figuring out the trajectory of your life. Could they improve their circumstances by using you as a launching pad to elevate them to the next level of their life? And when they figured out that the answer to that question was yes, well, then they got really close to you. Now remember, this doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a friend, colleague, coworker, neighbor, acquaintance, person in a hobby group. It could be somebody you just met. It could have been anybody. It could even be one of your parents who turned out to be the narcissist. But what they did is they watched you, and they watched you and your beautiful, bright, shining light, and they watched the way you carried yourself, the way you didn't quit, the way you delivered on time, the way you took the high road, and the way you continued to work for each and every fire that they were starting, and you had to put them out intentionally. You were putting out the fires that they were starting intentionally, but you wouldn't quit. And they were watching this, and they were trying to break you. They were trying to break that relationship. But also, along the way, they were not trying to have you find your purpose, or have you graduate university, or get married, or have kids, or relocate, or start a business, or whatever you did, if not all of those aforementioned things. The narcissist had plans for you. And what they did is they watched you. They watched how you were growing, how you were evolving, how much money you were earning, how your health was, how your 401k was getting filled, how you were getting promoted at work, how the cars you were buying were always being upgraded, or the vacations could be elevated. Example, if this year's vacation you went to a place that cost $3,000, well, maybe next year they would push for a place that cost $6,000, and eventually you would be paying for a vacation that cost $30,000 when you were up to your eyeballs in credit card debt, but the expectations and or the bar was raised so high that you had to continue to appease the narcissist, and they knew this. The narcissist was watching your pulse. They were watching your temperature. They were watching how you were engaging and communicating with everybody, which included them. And when they figured out that they were finally controlling you, and they were playing you like a pawn or a puppet or a marionette, and they were the puppet master, when they figured that out, that's when they placed you in that devaluation stage. That's when they had you trapped in the trauma bond and or the narcissistic fog. This is when they could do whatever they wanted to you, because they knew that they had worked up front to get you to fall in love with them, or to fall for them, or to elevate them, or to help them out. And they knew that they could play on your empathy, and they knew that they could play on your deep pockets, or they knew that they could guilt you into doing certain things. And when they did this, they kept on slowly pressing that gas pedal of abuse. They kept on manipulating you in that relationship more and more and more. And they kept on stringing you along more and more and more. And the more they pushed you, and the more they manipulated you, the more your resources were taking a hit. The more your resources were taking a hit, the more they began to pull back a little bit and maybe guilt you into saying, well, you don't have the corner office any longer. You're not practicing like you used to. You're not working as hard as you used to. What's going on? You used to bring in so much money. You're a failure. What's going on? Everyone else is making more money. Like, why can't you? They would say things like that to belittle you, to demean you, to devalue you, to have you not believe in yourself, and to believe that you should be doing more. Now, the narcissist wants what? That's right. They want the unpaid helper, and they want somebody subservient to them. So if they could push your buttons or have you thinking that you should be earning more money, well, you would do everything you possibly could under the sun to earn more money. But all that money was being sucked out of you into the narcissist like a vacuum cleaner. They were taking everything you possibly could earn. They were taking your time, money, energy, effort, love, empathy, your relationships, your health, your hobbies. They took everything they could and more, because that's what the narcissist does. They want to take, and take. And when they're done, what do they want to do? That's right, they want to take more. and they know exactly what they're doing. So did they have it planned out in the beginning of that relationship? Absolutely. They knew that if they could get close to you, that you would elevate their life for a period of time. Now, was that period of time going to be a week, a month, a year, a couple of years, maybe a decade or more? They didn't exactly know that, but they did have short, medium, and long-term plans for you and for that relationship. Keep this in mind. If the target of the narcissist, which at one point was you, if your life takes a twist or a turn, example, you got fired or your health took a hit or something, the narcissist has to have a backup plan, a contingency plan, which is whom? That's right, it's the new supply, or one of the multiple new sources of supply they were grooming, because they need to get off the sinking ship, or the person who can't provide like they used to. And believe me, that person was me. They need to get away from that person as far as they possibly can to go on to another fuel source that has a brand new engine, or whose health is in great shape, or their financial resources are filled to the brim. This is what the narcissist does. At the hint or the whiff of somebody's life going sideways, the narcissist will scatter like a cockroach in the kitchen at midnight when you turn the light switch on, unless they are written in the will, or there's a financial gain for them, or something similar to that. I hope you read between the lines. But if your money was being depleted, or your health was taking a hit, I'm using those two examples because that's what virtually happens with all of us in these relationships, one or both of these, if not both, and many more. When these things happen, that's when the narcissist says, wait, this person used to be very respected in the community. People looked up to them. They were held in high esteem. They no longer have that value because I took it away from them. The luster, the sheen, the beauty that they possessed, I've gobbled it up and I've consumed it, and I've taken it to catapult me to the next leg of my life, and I've dumped all my toxicity into them. Essentially what they're saying is they can't use that person any longer. Key word there is use, because that's what the narcissist does. They use people. They crumble them up like a sheet of paper and throw them away in the freeway whenever they get whatever they want from them. And this could take a week, a year, a month, a year, a decade, could take a lifetime. But this is what the narcissist does. So if you don't serve purpose for them, or if you don't have utility for them to do something for them, they're not going to look at you twice. They will do anything but pay attention to you. Now flip it. If you do have the country club membership and the yacht in Mexico and the beach house and the skiing passes and the extra condos and deep pockets, and you have written 5 books and people know you and you're established, well, the narcissist will look at you and try to take anything they possibly can from you, because they feel that they're better than you, and they feel that whatever you have, they should have, because they feel that you're inferior, and how dare you have something that they should have, even though they didn't work for it, and they couldn't even do what you did in a million years. But this is the crux of the narcissistic relationship. They want people doubting in themselves. They don't want people believing in themselves. They want people staying stuck in that devaluation stage, not thinking that better days are ahead. And this is why the narcissist is so good. And this is why the relationship is the relationship you need to heal from. Because when these relationships end, they end with a thud, a crash, a bang. And usually the ending comes out of left field. It's when you are vulnerable. It's usually when you are at a low point in your life, if not one of the lowest points of your life. And the narcissist likes to kick people when they're down. So did they have it all planned? Did they have it planned all along? They had a lot of it planned. But as life is dynamic, and as life ebbs and flows, you know that by now, which means today's totally different than tomorrow, and tomorrow will be different than the day after, etc. So does the narcissist's perception of different people, and their perception of you, which at one point was the beautiful, bright, the nice new shiny object. That's how they looked at you. They didn't look at you as the beautiful, bright, shining light the way I look at you, but they saw you as the shiny object. When that shiny object's luster wears off because of, like I mentioned, your health took a hit or your money or whatever happened, and there are so many more than those two things, that's when they have to look elsewhere for another new shiny object, which is the new supply. And they believe for a period of time that that person is the answer to their prayers. That person is the answer that can elevate them. That person that can love bomb and manipulate them. And then when that person's luster wears off because they're not the new shiny object for a long period of time, or for a certain period of time, then they look for that person's replacement. That's why the narcissistic abusive cycle is in a loop. And it goes around and around and around. And the one constant in the narcissistic abusive cycle, it's the narcissist. It wasn't you. It will never be you. Think of all the broken relationships that surround the narcissist. They include relationships with their own children, their stepchildren, their spouses, their ex-romantic interests, their parents, their colleagues, co-workers, their neighbors, their brothers, their sisters, their cousins, Anybody. The narcissist will throw anybody under the bus who is not in their vicinity. And even if you are in the vicinity, you can easily be thrown under the bus by being screamed at, yelled at, verbally abused, triangulated. Anything can happen when you're in these people's vicinity or proximity. That's why the path is to go no contact, to block these people, delete them, remove them, and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. If not now, when? And I understand if you can't do that, utilize Grey Rock. But what I'm mentioning to you is, did the narcissist have it planned all along? They had a lot of it planned. They steered that ship, and the ship was the relationship, in whatever direction they wanted it to be steered in. Example, if they wanted you to have a better career, or if they thought that you could earn more money for them than the current career you were in when you met them, maybe they would say to you, hey, maybe you should go to this school and elevate yourself and earn some more money. Well, you didn't realize that that wasn't to improve you and your circumstances in your life. That was because they saw more potential in you. They wanted you to get another degree or another certification, whatever it was, so you could earn more money to spend it on them. They never cared about you. They don't care about you now. They didn't care about you before, and they'll never care about you in the future. But it's not just you. It's the new supply. It's anybody. The narcissist cares about themselves only. And if they can manipulate somebody into believing that what they're selling, that bill of goods is real, and it's not, and that person actually does it, well, that person's in a very vulnerable position, because now they're being controlled. They're being told what to do, when to do it, with whom to do it, how to do it, if not to do it, when to go, when to come, when to stay, when to be waiting, when to text, when not, when to be available, why they weren't available, etc. This is why you are the unpaid helper. It's why you're the walking apology. It's why you're the walking ATM. It's why you're the chauffeur, the pool person, the person who cooks, cleans, and pays for the household items, etc. And no good deed goes unpunished in the narcissist's mind, meaning the more you give, the more they will take. The less you give, the more they want. So you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. That's why talking, again, I say this frequently recently, talking to a tree behind me is so much better for you than it is talking to the narcissist or a narcissist, because the tree behind me is going to absorb my energy. It's not going to tell me that I'm wrong. It's not going to tell me anything other than, wow, I heard your words and I relish your words, and you're a beautiful, bright, shining light, and you're a human being, and thank you for sharing that with me. Now, is the tree really going to say that? No, but the tree has feelings too. Unlike whom? That's right, the narcissist. You see, the narcissist will punish you for you being you because they're envious and jealous, and they don't want anybody to be themselves. That's why they need subservient people. That's why they need people to do things for them, which include the enablers, the flying monkeys, the people that are reliant upon the narcissist, etc. And this is what the narcissist does, because they are a coward, they're a bully, they're hollow, they're shallow, and they're filled with so many concerns and issues in that tiny little pea brain of theirs that one video can't even come close to doing it justice. But what I'm sharing with you is, did the narcissist have it planned all along? They had an awful lot of it planned along. Watch this. What do you think the discard was? First of all, if you were discarded, my heart goes out to you. If you had to end the relationship yourself, my heart still goes out to you, because you were in a relationship which was the most challenging, toxic relationship known to humankind, called the narcissistic relationship. But that discard, that was planned. Now, did they know the exact date and minute and hour they were going to do it? No, they didn't. What did they have to do? Well, they had to have a few moving parts put into place properly. Number one, they had to have the new supply lined up and ready to go. Number two, they had to have already stockpiled money, probably your money. Number three, they had to have the smear campaign well underway, which was taking place probably the minute you met them. Number four, they had to have a place to go to, or they had to have a way to remove you from the household, whatever it was. And then number five is they had to stay as far away from you as possible when the discard took place, because they wanted to twist the knife in you as deep as possible, i.e. not give you closure. And what they did is they sat back and they grabbed their popcorn and they watched your life implode with one word, which is, I'm leaving, something like that. Or maybe you came home to an empty house, however it happened. But when that happened, the narcissist knew what they were doing. That was planned, because they had already taken everything from you they possibly could take. And if they left anything, I can assure you, it wasn't even 1/100th of what it was in the beginning before you met them. They basically left the cupboards bare. They walked into your house and life and took anything and everything that wasn't nailed down. And even then, they probably tried to take some of the kitchen cupboards. But when they took these things, they left you in a very isolated, lonely, desolate place. And that is a place where the healing began. And that was a very, very challenging part of your life. And The removal and or the ending of the narcissistic relationship is unlike anything you'll ever experience in your life. And my hope is that you didn't go through it, and that you're not in a narcissistic relationship, and that you never were, and certainly that you never will be, because these people do know what they're doing. They put their clothes on the exact same way you do, and they breathe the same air. The thing is, they can't regulate themselves, and they need targets, and they need to abuse and use and manipulate people, unsuspecting people, people that don't know about narcissism, and people that don't realize that they're in a very desolate place, and they keep on giving the narcissist chances over and over and over again. So the whole point of this is, did the narcissist have it planned all along? Throughout the relationship, they had almost everything planned. Not down to the minute, not down to the hour and the day, but they were watching you. Example, let's say that you were in the relationship, and let's say that they were thinking of discarding you at whatever year it was. Well, then all of a sudden you got a pay raise, a huge pay raise. Your pay triple folded, or multiplied by 3. Well, then they have to say to themselves, whoa, 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 wait a minute. This person, which was you, was making X number of dollars. They just came home on a Friday at 6 o'clock in the evening and told me that they just got a promotion. They're now the VP of the company. They're making 3 times what they made just this morning. Ooh, what do? Oh, I remember. I go to Playbook, page number 92, and it says, tell the new supply to be on hold. Keep them stuck. Keep them pining for me longer and longer and longer. I'm staying with this one at least a couple more years so I can milk them of more money, squirrel away more of their assets, bleed them dry, twist the knife in deeper, and once they get fired, or once all the money in the 401k is gone, then I'll insert new supply. But now I have 2 people going at once, at least. I have the current person I'm with who just got the pay raise. I have the new supply who was looking forward to being with me when I was going to discard this person, but now that person is going to have to wait. But I'll keep them on the side because I'll still manipulate them and use them, but I'll keep this current person around because they just got a boatload of money coming at them for the foreseeable future. See, this is how the narcissist thinks. It's what they do. It's what they've always done, just that you weren't supposed to figure it out. So it goes any which way. If your health and or your resources are declining, the narcissist most likely is going to look to jump ship. If your health and resources are improving, etc., or stable, well, maybe they'll stick around longer. But if the narcissist doesn't see value in their little brain for the person that they are targeting or the person that they are with, they are not going to spend any time with them. They're going to do quite the opposite. They're going to go hit the gym in the morning and late at night. They're going to stay home from claim that they're not that they're working later in the evening when they're out grabbing dinners or rendezvous with the new supply or people. They will be joining new hobby groups that you can't even wrap your head around. Like, why would they even do that? They didn't do that a couple of years ago when we got married or when we were together. Well, why do you think they're doing all these things? Because they're trying to infiltrate new groups. They're trying to drum up new sources of supply. They're trying to look their best so they can wear a new mask and manipulate somebody else, somebody who has fresh resources, which at one point was you. Understand this message. It's a message of growth, of understanding, of realizing that the narcissist can't change. They don't have your best interest at heart. They definitely don't have the new supply's best interest at heart. And they did have most of it planned, not all of it, but they watched that part of their life when you were in it. They watched how it ebbed and flowed and how it went and which way it went, and they did their best to direct that whichever way they wanted to direct it, and they did a great job. But even they can't control everything, and so if it took a turn for the worse or the better, then they have to adjust their game plan till they get the new supply in place or till your bank account goes to zero. And it's not exclusive to new supply and bank account. These are just examples because a 20-minute video can't do this whole thing justice. I'm sharing with you that you need to be on your toes. You need to go no contact to block these people. You need to not overshare. You need to have boundaries. You need to learn to say no, the strongest word in the English language. And remember, when you say no to something or someone, you are saying yes to yourself. And above all, you need to not have any toxic person, specifically a narcissistic individual in your life, because these people don't improve. They only deteriorate over time. Well, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And realize something. Many times people scratch their heads post-relationship, specifically after time has passed, when they're healing, and they say, did this person have this planned? Like, how did this happen? I don't get it. How could they have known A, B, and C and done X? I don't get it. Well, it's because they were 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of you the minute you met the narcissist. When you met them, they knew exactly what they were going to do. They had a plan for you because they had done it before. They weren't just going through life saying, oh, I'm in love and this is going to be great and I'm going to stay with you through thick and thin and good times and bad. No, that's all a sham. It's all mirage. It's a house of quicksand. It's a house of cards. The narcissist will say whatever they want to with whomever they are with for the moment, but they don't mean a word. That's why you need to really understand that anything the narcissist ever told you, you have to take it with a grain of salt. Because once someone's health takes a hit or their resources take a hit, the narcissist already has one foot out the door. They're just waiting for a few moving parts to be put in place, and then boom, the cycle begins with a new person. So everyone, that is the video. I hope you're doing well. I love you all. God bless you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe. I'm sending you a huge virtual heart and a huge hug from beautiful Carolinas. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.